July 3rd, the Washington Redskins announced a review of the team's name. 10 days later, they announced that they will retire the Redskins name. Since the closeness of the season, the team decided to have a temporary nickname, the Washington Football Team. Hey, it's Cole. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be talking about the inaugural season of the Washington Football Team. Let's go and get right into it. A lot of new for this season for Washington. New name, new head coach and coaching staff, new team president. Game 1, and facing their division rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. 8 sacks later, the new Washington Football Team is 1-0 and leads the NFC East after week 1. Though it's only week 1, and that's one stat, that stat tells the story for the rest of the division for the rest of the season. The next 5 games for Washington went 0-5, losing to the Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, Rams, and Giants. This week leading up to the Rams game, Dwayne Haskins was benched for new starter Kyle Allen. In the same game versus the Rams, Alex Smith made his return to the NFL field. Kyle Allen would return next week and continue to start. The next stretch of games to Thanksgiving, the Washington Football Team went 3-2, sweeping the Dallas Cowboys in dominant fashion. In the second game versus the Giants, Kyle Allen had an ankle injury that took him out for the rest of the season. Alex Smith was named the starter to continue this season. The Washington Football Team then went on to go beat the undefeated 11-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. The next day, they would sign COVID quarterback Taylor Heineke. We'll get to him later. The next 2 games, the team went 1-1 versus the 49ers and Seahawks. During the 49ers game, Dwayne Haskins saw the field again after Alex Smith's injury. Dwayne Haskins would start versus the Panthers, and after 2 interceptions, he'd be benched for recently signed quarterback Taylor Heineke. However, they still lose this game 20-13. Following week, Haskins would be cut, ending his tenure in Washington. Now this week 7 game is vital for Washington. It's simple. Win and you're in. If you lose, the Giants are in the playoffs. Then at the start of their next offensive drive, the Eagles put in quarterback Nate Sudfeld to replace Jalen Hurts. Imagine seeing a team actively tank on live television. Well, that's what happened, and that's what the Eagles did. And to no surprise, the Washington Football Team wins 20-14 and moves on to the playoffs as division winners. If you were counting the wins with me, you would realize the Washington Football Team only won 7 games to be 7-9. Now, how did they make the playoffs? Well, it's quite simple. The NFC East sucked in 2020. After winning the NFC East, the Washington Football Team would be set to face on the Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Though on paper, this matchup was tough for Washington, it got even tougher. Ron Rivera announced Taylor Heineke will start the game as QB and Steven Montez would play backup. The loss of Alex Smith due to injury was worrisome. So you would think Tampa Bay would win pretty easily. Well, what if I told you Washington lost only by 8 and Taylor Heineke would become a fan favorite or possibly a Washington Football Team legend? Yeah, nobody expected that. That game from Taylor Heineke would give him a 2-year extension and a brand partnership with Bud Light. Ironic enough. After a franchise historic season and one fans won't soon forget, this was the inaugural season of the Washington Football Team.
And again, whatever you do, be the Washington Football Team.